Yes, hello again, and this is Questionable Food Part 2. I think I might have missed a couple of things in Part 1, so here we are again. Cloned bananas. Do you want them? Do you want to eat them? Do you love them? Did you know that the bananas we are eating are cloned and that there are actually several types of banana, but the ones we have on our shelves are all the same sort and they're all cloned? Uh, I didn't know this, and I have on occasional events been consuming cloned bananas without actually being aware of it because they don't really mention it, do they? I mean, you see a bunch of bananas on the shelf, there's no label, there's no nothing. I mean, you might see a little sticker like where it comes from and some company logo, but it doesn't actually tell you what's in it or how it's made or I mean, they do so many strange things. I had no idea. My good friend in Australia, he actually posted an article about these clone bananas, so I thought, oh goodness me, another thing to worry about. And then there's the tomatoes, and I don't buy tomatoes anymore because I can't find any convincing tomatoes. So I'm looking at the tomatoes. You got these like six packs, and they look like they came out of a an incubator or something. They probably did. I mean, they're all identical. They also look cloned, um, because even the bumps are in the same places and it's the same shape. So, I mean, it's like photocopy, photocopy, photocopy. It just doesn't look natural. It makes me feel uneasy. All these tomatoes look the same. Okay, so I'm moving on to the next packet of tomatoes, and they're a bit smaller, and they call them Tasty Toms. And there's a picture of Tom, I suppose it's Tom, uh, with a tomato, pushing it into his mouth like this. So, what's that say to you? If you see a packet of tomatoes and you see Tom's ugly mug and him shoving a tomato in, well, no, so I'm put off by Tasty Tom's. I mean, the tomatoes look cloned as well, so whatever. I think I'll give those a miss. So on to the next tomato, and these are the ones that are kind of like loose. You pick out your own ones. Okay, they're different shapes, different sizes. They might be real, they might be even remotely real, apart from the fact they're probably sprayed with goodness knows what. So, I'm giving the tomatoes a miss. Eggs. Eggs are good for the legs. Cheese is good for the knees. Onions are good for the bunions, and bread is good for the head. Jelly is good for the belly. No, enough of that. So the eggs. So I'm talking about the supermarket eggs right now. And so I go down to the supermarket. I look at the eggs they've got, and they've got free range eggs. That means you're like your hands are free, moving around, trotting about. Okay, great. Here are some free range eggs. Isn't that brilliant? Oh, but look, there are some ecological eggs. Ah, great. Oh no, just a minute. They're not free range though. But so, okay, so you're telling me that these eggs are ecological, but the hen is a slave in a little box and never gets to go outside of the box and it's sitting there. So basically, the only thing ecological about it is the fact that this slave hen that lives a life of torture and misery just happens to be fed some sort of ecological food. That's the only thing ecological or positive about it. The rest is a horror movie. So, back to the free range eggs. Now I'm looking at, and by the way, this is the same for every single supermarket I've ever visited in Norway. I don't know about the rest of Europe because I haven't been checking the eggs there, but I suspect something similar is happening there because it usually does. It's usually an international or multilateral phenomena. So the point of the story is that you have the ecological eggs which are not free range, and you have the free range eggs which aren't ecological. And there are no eggs in that supermarket which are both ecological and free range. So it's back to the farm, isn't it? And it's nice now because it's the summertime. I can get on my bicycle, whip down to the local farm and get some real eggs. So, finish with the story. In the wintertime, though, it's a bit of a drag because it can get like 35 below zero around here, and you don't always feel like zotting down to your local farm in that sort of weather. But okay, it is possible. It is possible. I wonder how many eggs they lay in the winter. I haven't really found out. Maybe they lay less eggs, fewer eggs in the wintertime than they do in the summertime. That's just a wild guess there. So, I think that will be enough for now for Questionable Food Part 2. Thank you very much, everybody.